Good evening and welcome. Thank you all for coming out this evening for the opening of the Excellence Awards Exhibition and the awards ceremony associated with that. Before we begin, a small housekeeping announcement. All the award recipients this evening, could I request you to please stay back till the end so we can have a few pictures before we inaugurate the exhibition. I would like to invite Dr. Bimal Patel, President of CEPT University, to say a few words to start the evening.
Thank you, Chirayu, and thank you everybody for coming here. I have actually not a few words. Chirayu has prepared this thing for me to say. So it's only Chirayu speaking, but I'm supposed to say it, and there's a lot of things to say. So thank you for preparing this, Chirayu. Let me start by just a few things, setting a context for this event. You know that over the last few years, we have been making a lot of changes to how teaching happens. We've introduced the unit system, we've introduced the exhibitions, we have got smaller units, choice-based system, a whole slew of changes have been made. All of these changes are guided by one simple idea, one very simple idea. And that idea is as follows. The true worth of any school can be only determined on the basis of the work that its students produce. So if you want to decide whether some school is good or bad, you don't look at the infrastructure, which we have we get and improving our infrastructure, but that's not what makes a great school. It's not the quality of teachers. We have great teachers, but it's not great teachers that make a great school. It's not the work that they do outside that makes a great school. We might have great alumni, and we have great alumni, but that's not what makes a great school. What makes a great school is a school whose students produce fantastic work. That's one simple thing. Everything is to be measured by that yardstick. What's the quality of work that the students produce? And to that end, we have instituted this system whereby we have an exhibition at the end of every semester. It takes a lot of doing. We put it up to the public. We put it up, everybody looks at everybody else's work. All the teachers look at everybody's work. We appreciate, that's a celebration of the work that the students do. And that's also the evidence that we put in front of the world saying, this is what we are capable of doing. There's nothing else that makes a great school. You might have terrible infrastructure, the teachers might be okay, but if the students produce fantastic work, that's a great institution. And that's really, look at it. That's what makes the IITs, that's what makes IIMs, that's what a good school is about. Well, one of the key things you also do if you want to celebrate work is you celebrate the best work that is produced. You celebrate it, you identify it, you sort of hold it up, and you honor the students who have produced that work and the tutors who have helped and coached and everybody else that was involved in it. And so we have set up this system. Last time it was called Honors Award, but we have now changed the name and we call it the CEPT Excellence Awards. And we are still trying to get this whole system functioning well. how do you select them, etc. What time of the year do you have the exhibition? It'll get better as we go along. But at the end of the semester, we want one panel of jurors go look at all the projects that are exhibited, and to select out of that, we said up to 20. They can be 2, they can be 3, they can be 20, they can be from the same unit, they can be from different units, nothing. Just go looking around and find us the work that is done which is of high quality, that you would hold up as excellent work. That's what we instituted as a system. When we started off, they went, looked, they came back and said they also wanted to honor some studio units as a whole for the excellent work that they've done as a whole. And so we expanded the remit of this jury, and we said not only will you select 20, up to 20, 22 great projects, you will also select great studio units that we would honor with an award for excellence. So then the next question was, at that time, he said, what would this jury be? And this jury has to have people who are themselves, in their own work, have extremely high standards. They've achieved an excellence in their work. And I had the great delight of inviting the following people to form that jury. The first one was my friend Archana Shah. She's a textile designer, trained in NID, founder of Bandage. All of you know Bandage. She has designed costumes for theatre and a few feature films. She's also designed architectural textile installations at Festival of India, inaugurations at Paris, Moscow, Leningrad, Tashkent. She is an exemplary designer. So I was glad when she accepted. Thank you, Archana, for being part of this whole process. Next, I requested my friend and colleague, Bobby Desai. Those of you who have seen him at work really know what he's capable of producing. He's an architect with over 25 years of practice experience. He holds a BA honors in architecture from Kingston University and a postgraduate diploma with honors from the Architectural Association in London. I requested Bobby to be part of this jury and also to be chair of the jury panel. So thank you, Bobby, for accepting this. As you can see, I'm going alphabetically. Next is, I'm going to say this every time, my friend and excellent designer, Dinesh Sharma. Dinesh, I had the privilege of working with him over 1 year, over one product design that we did. And I have the highest regard for his design capability. He is an exemplary product designer operating out of Ahmedabad. He was trained in the Indo-German tool room in precision manufacturing. I mean, he makes things that are, measured in microns, not just in centimeters or millimeters, but in microns, and holds a diploma in design from the National Institute of Design. He's done some fantastic work with rainwater harvesting structures and systems for shading systems, including this one here that's up there. So, Dinesh, thank you for accepting. And last but not the least, I don't see our man here. Has he come or has he not come? Walter de Souza. He must have forgotten. Once again, my friend and an excellent printmaker, one of India's greatest printmakers. Walter de Souza is a renowned artist and printmaker. Besides printmaking, his work also includes glass painting, watercolors, and sculpture. He's also been a visiting faculty at many institutions, including CEPT University. So you can see we had this panel of people who are all masters in what they do, to go around looking at all the projects. They spent, I think, 2.5 days going over all of the projects and came up, reviewed all the work in the L2, L3 studios and selected 21 projects for Excellence Awards. They also selected 7 studio units for Excellence Awards at the unit level. Okay, so they've put this thing together, and eventually then an exhibition has been put, and I have had a preview. It's you're going to like it. The student projects are displayed in the exhibition along with the tutors and TAs of the unit level awards. They will all be recognized today with a citation. So that's terrific, and that's fantastic news. But that's not all. While we were doing this, the Gujral Foundation pledged support to give a cash award of 1 lakh rupees to the top 3 student projects from the 21 projects that were selected. So the top 3 awards get a nice cash award. This will be called the CEPT Gujral Foundation Excellence Award, and these awards will also be given today, and the names of the people who have won them will be announced shortly. So let me just tell you a little bit about Gujral Foundation. They are supporting a few activities here. Gujral Foundation was founded by Mohit and Firoz Gujral. Mohit Gujral is a alumnus of CEPT, my batch, 19. I don't want to say which batch; it's too far back. But my batch. He's an architect. He operates out of Delhi, and Firoz Gujral does curation of exhibitions. She supports artwork, cultural development in India, in particularly contemporary arts, architecture and design. They have, the foundation has supported 150 artists in 50 projects in India and around the world, including collateral events at the Venice Biennale, the Kochi Biennale, the Shanghai Biennale, and Berlin Biennale, and various other places across the world. So they sort of help promote India's contemporary art across the world. Gujral Foundation is delighted to begin with a 5-year program with CEPT University, during which they will be presenting 6 annual awards to our students. So 3 this semester, 3 next semester, going on for 5 years. And they will also be hosting a course at the Winter School and loaning works of sculpture to put in our campus here. They are not able to come here, but I'd like to thank them very much, both Mohit and Firoz Gujral, for all the support that they are giving CEPT, and especially for the awards. That's not all. One more thing. Running a great institution requires the efforts of not just students, not just tutors and TAs, but also administration and a lot of other people who work in all the different offices of the university, such as the Teaching Learning Center or the International Office or various other places. It's really when everybody puts in their effort and works hard and tries to excel that an institution goes further up. I am actually very pleased at the level of work that people are putting in into making our university better in all sorts of ways, big and small. To recognize this effort and to, in a sense, recognize the effort by the staff members, we've also put in a very strong appraisal system that sort of recognizes excellence in their work when it's done. Now, today we are also going to honor the people who have been identified as excellent in the 2 performance years, 2016-17 and 2017-18. This event for honoring these people, this is last 2 years' work, was going to happen earlier. For some reason or the other, it got delayed, and we decided to hold it along with the Excellence Awards. I'm told that the appraisal for this year is going to start soon. So I think from now on it can be a tradition that at this point every year we have both the awards for excellence of student work and recognition of the people who have done excellent work and got excellent in their appraisals. We are trying very hard, and we've managed in most cases, to establish a system of appraisals and for recognition at CEPT that actually uses the results of the appraisal system. I think that in an institution where you recognize people who are doing well, that institution always does well instead of an institution that does not make any distinction between people. So that's that. Now, Chirayu, what am I supposed to say? Sorry? The task at hand. Okay, let me come back to the task at hand. He's written here. It is wonderful to see the work displayed in the exhibition. You'll all get to see it. 20 student projects which represent the best work in L2, L3, the university at display. I now would like to congratulate first, before the awards are to be given, congratulate all the students who have got these awards, all the tutors who guided them, all the TAs, the teaching assistants who worked along with the tutors. Congratulations. This is to be selected. There are almost 1,500 student projects that were reviewed, and to be selected as amongst 20 is really, really a good, fantastic achievement. So congratulations to all of you. I'd like to thank our jury panel for all their efforts and the long time spent in looking at all the works. I know it was really tiring at that time. Thank you very much for all the effort. We're going to make you do more work as we go along. So I hope you have more stamina and that you're ready to do this for a bit longer. I'd also like to thank our deans, program coordinators, UG/PG office, administrative staff, and every person in the university, the Malis, the support staff, everybody who makes this university possible, its work possible, and you can't have a great institution without everybody putting in. So thank you very much to all of you. I'd also like to thank particularly the Teaching Learning Center, which has been spearheading a lot of the changes, supporting Professor Srivatsan and myself in making all these changes possible. So thank you especially for all the people in the Teaching Learning Center. And last but not the least, I'd like to specially thank Professor Srivatsan. This whole awards process and making it happen was amongst one of the many other initiatives that he has shepherded, stewarded, and brought implemented that process. So you have all heard that he is now going to play a different role at CEPT. He is not going away. He is going to play a different role at CEPT. Thank you. I've written to everybody, but thank you very much, Professor Srivatsan. Once again, congratulations to the award winners, students, and the studio units, tutors, staff members. Let's get on with awarding the students. Thank you very much, Chirayu.
I'd like to request Bobby Desai to share observations of the jury panel on behalf of the jury panel to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. I hope I can be heard, and I hope my accent doesn't get in the way this evening. I wish I'd asked Chirayu to prepare my notes, actually. I might have been a bit more concise. What I'd like to do is talk about what the panel were looking for, what the objectives of the panel were, and what we saw. This is, as Bimal mentioned, this is the second exhibition showcasing undergraduate work that's considered to be of an excellent standard at CEPT. At this point, I was going to introduce the panel members, but Bimal did a fantastic job of that. But this is the first time that an external non-faculty panel has been asked to do this, which I believe is a reflection in the university's openness and its growing confidence in the quality of the work being produced here. As this is a new format, I'd like to take a few brief moments to explain what we were looking for as a panel and the process that we followed. Again, as Bimal mentioned, I think that it's wonderful to be a part of this growing process and evolving process, and we've already been discussing how, if invited again next semester, how we might improve the process and make it more transparent, more engaging. So the objective of the Excellence Awards selection process was to select from the end of semester exhibition the best work on show. Now that's an important point to make. So we consciously avoided detailed descriptions by tutors and students. Our role was to select the best presentations that spoke for themselves. Therefore, as a panel, our primary focus was on assessing the quality and clarity of the projects as they were presented. As the panel was garnered together from 4 distinct disciplines, architecture, industrial design, textile design, and fine art, naturally, we each had very different ideas about what was or was not a good project. But we were all in complete agreement on the importance of high standards of drawing and the need for clarity of communication. As students, I'm sure you're all aspiring to be great designers, whether your passion is interior design, architecture, product design, urban design, or some other form of design. And I'm sure that when you finish your studies, you aspire to be successful practitioners in your chosen profession. Effective and clear visual communication and the ability to draw complex ideas is, of course, absolutely essential in the design process. But it is also an absolute necessity in all design professions. In fact, the origin of the word design is drawing. While reviewing the end of semester exhibition, our overarching purview was to seek out inventive solutions illustrated with well-crafted and carefully considered presentations. At an individual project level, we were looking for something a bit more. We were looking to see how successfully the presentations communicated the following. How legible was the concept? Is the basic proposition relevant and robust? Is the intellectual diagram strong? Is the final proposal clear? Does it reflect the ambitions of the concept? We were also looking for clearly articulated aspects of detail, materiality, and structure. And finally, we were looking for drawings and models that were evocative, that gave the panel an understanding about the quality, character, and experience of the space and object proposed and its context. So quite a tall order. It was how well these objectives were met that directed the panel to determine if an individual student's works could be considered to be of an excellent standard. However, through the review and selection process, the panel felt that excellence resided in 2 distinct areas, as Bimal mentioned, in individual works and in studios as a collective. Individual works of excellence ranged from comprehensive projects, products, and the occasional single drawing was absolutely mind-blowing. Excellent studios fell into 2 types. Those that had a consistently high standard of individual work across the board, and those that were focused on group learning, where the focus was not on individual excellence, but the curriculum was progressive, relevant, and the work took risks and was experimental. The panel agreed that it is a credit to the university that such experimental and speculative studios are supported and given space to evolve. In both cases, it is clear that the success the studios enjoyed was a direct result of a nurturing and healthy learning culture based around the rigor, quality, and openness of teaching, and of course the personalities of the tutors involved. Naturally, each member of the selection panel brought different values and predilections to the selection process. It is fair to say that there was much lively, passionate, but never heated discussion before we agreed on the final 20 excellent projects and 7 excellent studios. The creative diversity of the panel has been an asset to the process. I have no doubt about that, and I would urge the university to continue to have a very diverse panel. This is manifest in the broad spectrum of projects selected. All 27 exhibitors are to be congratulated on being selected. As can be seen in this exhibition and the end of semester exhibition, there can be no doubt that the standard of work at CEPT has improved consistently across all faculties over the last 3 semesters. The next and final stage of the selection process was to select 3 students from the 20 exhibited for a special prize. Last Wednesday, all 20 students were invited to present their work in an open jury, which was actually streamed live on the university Twitter account. Many of the students that took part in the juries had done considerably extra work in preparation, and everyone who took part is to be applauded for the quality of their presentations. At the end of the juries, the panel sat late into Wednesday night, continued their deliberations yesterday, and shortlisted 6 students for the 3 prizes. All 6, I believe, deserve a special mention. And I hope you'll forgive my poor pronunciation of names, but I'm going to mention the 6 shortlisted students. Mayuri Talavia, Eva Oberndorfer, Lakshita Manjal, Ujjavala Krishna, Ashumi Shah, and Ritika Mittal. It was extremely difficult to choose just 3 from the shortlist of 6. Now, before the 3 prize winners are announced, the members of the selection panel would like to thank the President, the Provost, that's the English pronunciation, and the Teaching and Learning Centre for giving us the opportunity to see and discuss such stimulating work, and for inviting us to contribute to the continuing success of CEPT University. At this point, I was going to announce the 3, but I think we have an alternative plan for that, so thank you all for listening, and thank you for the university. I know, it's great, isn't it? It's been art directed by Chirai.
Thank you, Bobby. So, moving on to the award ceremony, I will now call on individual students who will receive the citation for their studio projects. And following this, I will call on the unit tutors of the studio units for receiving the unit level awards. May I call on Professor Srivatsan to please do the honors. Okay, so let's begin. The first set of 3 projects are from the studio unit, Assembly-Based Interior Design Practices by Professor Patel. Collectively, all 3 projects display a clarity of expression of design intent. The belief in the utopian possibilities of architecture was palpable in these proposals. The first student is Prachi Nagar. Her project is Through Assembly, See Assembly. Prachi's project was for a museum and an exhibition center for the fast disappearing craft of boat making in Mandvi, Kutch. The next student is Rajvi Patel. Project is Nesting in the Mall. Rajvi proposed a 3-dimensional modular structure which nests in the mall and provides for different spatial configurations. The last one in this is Shell Shade. Project is Extroverting the Introvert. Shell proposed to amalgamate the Ahmedabad Heritage Museum, a bazaar and a pole theatre within the Premabai Hall at Badra. Next up is a project from the studio unit Designing Water Infrastructure for Civic Expression by Dara and Nishant Mittal. The project is by student Parth Patel called Homecoming, Return of the Groundwater. I think Parth is not available today. The next two projects are from the studio unit Designing with People by Jono Bennett, which adopts the participatory and co-design processes which have a significant and growing role to play in the procurement of our built environment. The two students in this are Lakshita Munjal and Ujjwala Krishna. I think both of them are not present here, they are on office training. Up next is a project from the studio unit Designing Types, Office Building by Somil Mewada and Jai Chavda. The student Ahana Banker, whose project The Serene Synergy, she is also not here today. The next three projects are from the studio unit Figuring Ground, Land Building Relationships by Milind Patel and Kavita Menghani. The first student, Dhriti Patel, is not here. The second student, Malav Desai, whose project is Art Gallery in Udaipur. Malav proposes a live wall in his art gallery in reference to the city palace. The third student in this studio, Neha Maturi, she is also not available today. The next project is from the studio In Detail, Making is Realizing by Niyati Patel and Vishal Vadvani. Student name is Ritika Mittal and the project is the Mandala chair from 2D to 3D. Ritika's low height reclining chair that transforms into a two-dimensional stackable portable lightweight element is inspired by a mandala wire toy. This market-ready design provides a solution with elegant minimalism and visual bravado. Next up is a project from the studio Masterstroke, Matters of Architectural Language, taught by Sachin Soni. The student name is Ashumi Shah, whose project is Wellness, Wellbeing and Mindfulness in Lonavala. The panel particularly enjoyed Ashumi's project as it avoids a polite difference to the syntax of Richard Rogers. Her project is bold and a direct implementation of a pre-existing architectural syntax and principles. The next project is from the next two projects are from the studio unit A Place for Water by Meghalaya. Anirudh Shankar. His project is the Alvar Water Collaborative. Anirudh adopts a humanist approach in the design of a community center at Alvar, and the proposal is considered and thorough in its resolution and drawn with precision and clarity. The second student, Moritz Newman, is not available, and he has, despite numerous attempts, he has not been reachable, so unfortunately we have not been able to display his work in the exhibition. The next project is from the studio Tectonic Operations, taught by Smith Vyas and Janavi Pat. The student name is Kirtan BV, Reception for AES Wellness Center. Kirtan's drawing for a reception center in the existing AES Wellness Center reveal a high degree of sensitivity to materials and construction. In the next two projects from the studio unit Terrain Vague Bricolage by Sonal Mittal, the panel enjoyed the site analysis and research undertaken in the design of a herbarium in a disused quarry at Champaner. The first student is Adnan Makada, whose project is Pollyanna. Adnan's approach is full of bravado and technological optimism. The articulation of the building skin describes a particular and specific series of openings, suggesting a highly curated internal environment. The second student in the studio, Eva Susan Obendorfer, whose project Stone to Stone. Eva was an exchange student, so she is not available today at the event. The next three projects are from the studio unit Towards a Design Language by Snehal Nagarshet. They grapple with issues related to adaptive reuse, architectural intervention, and materiality in bringing it back into use Gada Shah's shop, a building ruin in Mandu. The first student, Ishani Tanwar, whose project is Reincarnated Dwelling. Ishani's project of a museum initiates a conversation between the fabric of the old and the new and smartly integrates them with the use of gabion walls. The next student is Mayuri Talavia, Play Narration Museum of Mandu. Mayuri's project of a museum and theatre is enjoyably quirky, beautifully drawn, and well presented. The last student in this studio is Vaidehi Ghatwai, whose project is Within the Walls of Mandu. Vaidehi deftly integrated the program of the museum and the theatre while juxtaposing modern materials in a historic context. The last individual student project is from the studio Where Material Meets Design by Molly Koza and Vishnu Koleri. The student is Bharatraj Thakral. His project is Sightless Shelter as a Kit of Parts. Bharat's design for a flat pack shelter is fully deployable, scalable structure which is elegant and economical in its use of materials, is lightweight and transportable. Now we move on to the unit level awards. The first one in this is The Purpose of Architecture, Exploring Design Interventions and Strategies by Anand Patel, and the TA is Priyanshi Jain. May we call on both of them to come and collect the awards. Next is Figuring Ground, Land Building Relationships by Milind Patel and Kavita Menghani. TA is Ayush Pal. The next one is Designing with People by Jono Bennett, and TA is Harshil Parekh. Jono is not here because he was a visiting tutor from South Africa, but if Harshil is here, we can call on him to take the award. The next one is Make and Learn by Hamid Raj. The next one is In Detail, Making is Realizing, Vishal Wadhwani and Niyati Patel. TA is Dhruv Thakkar. The next one is Towards Design Language by Snehal Nagarshet. TA is Neeti Singhal. And the last one is Designing Water Infrastructure for Civic Expression by Dhara and Nishant Mittal. TA is Vaishal Patel. That's Vaishal. So with that we come to an end. But before we end, we need to announce the top 3 names. So without further ado, the names are Ashumi Shah, Mayuri Talavia and Ritika Mittal. Ashumi Shah, Mayuri Talavia. Yeah. The prize money checks are inside. and Ritika Mittal. May I now invite Registrar Anita Hiranandani to take over for the next part of the ceremony, which is the citations for excellent performance by teachers and staff members.
It gives me immense pleasure to announce the names of my colleagues who are being appreciated today for the outstanding work for the last 2 years, 2016 and 2017. May I request Bimal Bhai to present the Excellence Award. Names are in alphabetical order. Dr. Anjana Vyas, awarded for the year 2017-18. The Dr. Jigna Desai, Excellent Award for year 16, 17, 17, 18, for both the years. It's a certificate as well as a cash prize. Dr. Rutul Joshi, for year 2017-18. Oh, I missed one. I missed all this. Kirit Patel. Kirit Patel, sir, for 2017 and 16-17. For both the years. Sankalpa for 17-18. Shalini Sinha for 17-18.
Get picture,
Subrangshu Goswami for 16-17 and 17-18. Dr. Mona Iyer for 16-17, 17-18. She's not present today. She's taken. I think her husband is around.
She's not here because she's out on some teaching trip. That is why
Bhuj,
she's not here to Bhuj. So decided award later, work first.
Hemant Sharma for 16-17 and 17-18. Shivangi Akuri for 16-17, 17-18. She's on maternity leave and she's come specially to us. Nimesh Vaghela for 17-18. Sadashiv Prasad for 17-18. Suresh Naik for 1718. That's all. Now we look forward for the next year, the award winners. Congratulations to everybody.
May I request Professor Srivatsan to come and deliver the vote of thanks and all the other things before we finally inaugurate the exhibition. Thank you.
Good evening, and we are well ahead of time. Thank you for all those before me who kept to time and did it faster. First, let's thank the weather gods. We are very worried what happens if it pours, so we put a temporary tents by the side. I don't think there's any need for it. So it has been so great so far, and for someone who's going to complete the role of being academic director, nothing more fitting and more heartening and happy to be part of an exhibition that celebrates excellence. And that's fitting. And equally heartening and happy to note, because I was very much part of the previous exhibition as well, the work this time is tremendously improved. And nothing more reassuring and giving us great hope that every successive group does better than the previous ones. You can't ask for anything more if you're part of the academics. So I'm thankful for all the students, tutors, the TAs have done really a great job, and particularly the 20 exhibition panels here. The students have really worked hard. But behind all this was a hard-working team led by Jay Tucker. We had appointed Jay as our exhibition designer coordinator. And since summer exhibition, he has taken charge and he has done tremendous work. And the graphic quality and the display has phenomenally improved. And you can see that continuing in the exhibition we will shortly open. So I thank Jay, his team, Rishabh, Priyanka, Kamna, and Shivam. We were ably helped by the workshop team led by Urvi here, and Savilash and Junet. All these have been for the last 1 month we are trying to build up by putting Save Your Date campaigns and postcards and posters and all that, and tremendous effort by the communications office led by Susim, Hemant and Poojan. They were ably supported by the IT office and the campus office. But behind all this is the TLC. We've been really putting great effort, and you can see that they're showing results. You can see very well produced catalogs delivered in time, and the whole system is working very efficiently. And I thank the TLC led by Chirayu, Anjali, Bhuwana, Ishak, and Devna. Thank you, everyone. It's been a great evening so far, and it's been a great 5 years for me. I came in exactly July 2014, and I never thought that I would end in a high note like this. Thanks, Bimal, for giving me the opportunity, and also, I don't know if it was a coincidence or whether he planned it, that it ends with this event. And thanks for all the support, and thanks for all the tutor students who have helped me function and do the things that I managed to do so far. Before we open the exhibition, 4 rapid events. I assure you it won't take time. She was asking me when the exhibition will open after getting a certificate. Just hold on 5 minutes, we'll keep going. First, the launch of the catalog. I request the jury members, all the deans, including the 2 newly minted ones, Sejal and Samir, can you please come here and we could release the catalogs. Bobby, Archana, Tradeep, please come. Deva. There are 100 copies, so not to worry. So can I request all of you to open the cover and display the catalog and pose for a photograph, please. Kinjal, you will ensure they're all in the center. She's so particular that I thank Trudeep, who's part of the press, and Soumya for getting this on time, and it's very well produced, printed by the Navajeevan Press. They are our regular printers. Great. Thank you all. So we will move to the next photo. Can I ask, request all the students who have come here, whose works have been displayed here, to come here to have a picture along with the jury members, Bimal and Trudeep. Okay, thank you. The jurors can go and take your seat. Thanks a lot for a great effort. Trudeep and Bimal, kindly stay back. Can I ask all the faculty and staff members who have received the awards, and can I request the deans also to join us for a photo? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Can I request the faculty and staff members to come and join us? The deans, please. Registrar, madam. Thank you all. So now the last event, which is opening of the exhibition.